let's talk about sales management because there's a question I have to ask. And that question is, do you actually want to become a sales manager? See, a lot of people, um, they try to, or they think that they are going to get into sales management or they want to get into sales management because they just believe for many reasons, right? So sometimes it's because they just want to make more money. Sometimes they think that it's like this way of kind of stacking up passive money. Like, oh, if I just manage the team and get a percentage, my sales guys are just out doing sales all day while I'm screwing off, right? Or they just think it's the next step for them. It's the natural progression, which, maybe that could be a decent reason. But honestly, I think they're all not really good reasons to become a sales leader, to get into sales management. What I mean by sales management is, you're leading a sales team. You're responsible for the members of that team. Because there's a few things you really have to take into account and you really have to consider before you get into sales leadership. And in this video, that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about some of the things that you need to consider. With the first one being, you are no longer doing any sales and your sales skills will not save you here. Yes, of course, you're selling ideas, you're selling vision. There are things that you're always selling no matter what kind of position you do for the most part, but it is not enough to just say, I'm good at sales, therefore I should be a sales manager. It's not good enough to just have a good couple months or a good year or a good 5 years in sales and say, therefore, I should be a sales leader, because it is a completely different set of skills that you're going to have to utilize and a completely different thing that you're going to have to be passionate about, because you're no longer selling a service to people. You are now in the business of people management and emotion management, right? There's so many times where I've been leading sales teams and I felt more like a therapist or a coach, like a life coach, more than I was a sales leader, because there's going to be a lot of people that you're responsible for. And those people have lives outside of work. And sometimes those lives get derailed and it affects their work, therefore affects the team. Therefore, you have to step in and help them overcome whatever it is that they're dealing with, right? So first thing to understand is you're now in a new game, which is people and emotion management, right? Now, second thing you want to take into account is that it's a completely different set of skills. It's not good enough to just be able to sell. Like I said, you also have to have a really deep understanding of how you sell. It's not good enough to just be able to do things that work. You have to understand how it works, why it works, and be able to articulate it in a way that other people will understand as well, which is not as easy as it sounds. It's not as easy as you might think, right? Not only that, but you have to know when to and when not to let go of your specific rigid style, or I guess, what's a better way to say it? You have to learn how to understand that everyone is not you, right? You can't get into sales management and say, hey, they need to sound exactly like me. They need to ask it questions exactly like me. They need to be like me word for word, or else it won't work, because that's the only way you know how to sell. No, now you have to learn how to understand different people's selling style and just, yes, incorporate some of the things you know to do, but also how to let that person shine in their own nuance, right? How do I nurture other people's styles? How do I nurture other people's talents? How do I pull out what they're good at from what they're not good at and shift my ideas of what is supposed to be done to fit that person so that they could perform the best? Because I will tell you this, if you train enough people, you're going to learn that some people just can't be exactly like you word for word. And on top of that, some people will perform worse being exactly like you. There's lots of things to think about when it comes to sales leadership. All day long, you're no longer focused on sales. You're focused on a whole new set of things. And maybe I'll make another video talking about this in more detail. but my camera is about to die and it's about to overheat because I've been filming a lot of content today. So I'll leave it there for this one. Feel free to comment down below, leave a like, let me know if this is a topic you want me to talk more about. I would go longer, but this thing's about to kick off. I'll see you guys in the next one.